Hello and welcome to the Deadly Pit, my friend. Hey, this is a watch me problem, so all you have to do is sit back, relax, and watch to see how this problem is solved. And then you're going to want to make sure you copy all the notes into your notebook so you have this information for further use, my friends. All right, so without further ado, let us get on to our scenario. You, my friend, have fallen into a deadly pit. Your only hope of escape is to solve this problem. Your deadly pit contains lions, right there, vampire bats, right there, and poisonous snakes, right there, my friend. He looks friendly, but careful, because he is poisonous. All right, the pit contains 5 times as many vampire bats as lions, and 3/5 as many snakes as vampire bats. And your first job is to write a ratio that represents the animals in your pit. Alrighty, so I wrote lions to bats to snakes, right? And now if we come back up here, we can see that the pit contains 5 times as many vampire bats as lions. So if I have 1 lion here, let's go ahead and just write 1 lion to, that means if I've got 5 times as many, that means for every 1 lion, I'm going to have 5 bats. So let's go ahead and just write 5 here. And then I'm going to write 2. And now here it says, and 3/5 as many snakes as vampire bats. Now, when I'm teaching about fractions, I always say you can say fractions in 3 ways. 3/5, 3 out of 5, or 3 divided by 5. And in this case, we're going to think of it as 3 out of 5, right? So that line there means out of. So for every 5 bats, I'm going to get 3 out of those 5. So I get 3, right here, 3 out of 5. So I get 3 snakes out of every 5 bats. And right here, I have 5 bats, so that means I'm going to have 3 of these snakes. So let's go ahead and just write that right there. And bam, there, my friends, is your ratio, 1 to 5 to 3. Now, of course, you could also write it as with colons, 1 colon 5 colon 3. Either one of these two is fine. Let's move on to our second question. If there are 9 snakes, how many lions are in your pit? Alrighty, for problems like this, I like to make a triple-decker T-chart like this right here. So I've got really just the same as my ratio that I set up here. I'm going to have lions for here, the first column, bats for the second column, and snakes for the third column, right? And now all I have to do is plug in these numbers to start with. So I'll go ahead and write, if there's 1 lion, then I know there's going to be 5 bats, and I know there's going to be 3 snakes, right? Now, I am wondering how many lions I'm going to have if I have 9 snakes, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just plug in 9 here under the snakes, right? And I'll do that in blue. If there are 9 snakes, that means I have to take this 3 and I got to multiply 3 by 3 to get 9. And that is the beginning step of solving this problem. So once again, let's come back up here, and if there are 9 snakes, how many lions are in my pit? Well, I took the ratio, and to find a proportion that's equivalent to it, I'm going to multiply that 3 by 3 to give me 9, and that plugs in and agrees with the 9 snakes. And with the T-chart, I know that if I'm going to keep this proportional, I can multiply lions over here by 3. So 3 times lions will give me 3, because 3 times 1 will give me 3, right? So in that case, the answer to this second question, if there are 9 snakes, how many lions are in your pit? There are going to be 3 lions. Let's just go ahead and write that. 3 lions. And bam, perfect. Now you could also figure out how many bats there would be simply by taking 5, multiplying it by 3, and that would give you 15 bats, right? And that's how you would fill the whole triple-decker T-chart out. But we're only interested for this question in how many lions there are. And the answer, my friend, is 3 lions. Bam, love it. All right, let's move on to our third question. And it says, if there are 63 creatures in all, then how many lions, vampire bats, and poisonous snakes are in your deadly pit? Alrighty, to find problems like this or to solve problems like this where you want to know how many creatures there are in all, I make a quadruple T-chart here. And the first 3 are exactly how this starts out, exactly how the ratio starts out. So you're going to have lions, bats, and snakes. You're going to add a 4th column for the total number of critters that are in your deadly pit here, right? So let's go ahead and start by plugging in the numbers, and they're going to stay consistent with the ratios that you got up here. So you're going to start off with the lions having 1 lion. Then you're going to have 5 bats and 3 snakes. And once again, these numbers here are really just taken from your ratios, and they're the same from this first triple-decker T-chart that we created. Now, our 4th column is going to give us our total. So if we take 5 plus 3, that's going to give us 8, plus 1 is going to give us a grand total of 9 creatures in the deadly pit here, right? But this is just the ratio. We want to know when the total is 63 here, what are each of the numbers? How many lions, how many bats, and how many snakes? Well, I'm going to plug in the 63 under the total number of creatures because that's what I need to know. So I'm going to plug in 63 right here. And then what I got to do is try and figure out what times 9 is going to give me 63, right? And I happen to know that 9 times 7 will give me exactly 63 total creatures in the entire deadly pit here, right? So that means I can take this 7 and multiply 7 times 3, and that's going to give me 21. So I'm going to just plug in 21 poisonous snakes. 7 times 5 is going to give me 35 vampire bats, right? And then this is the tough one, 7 times 1. Let's think. Okay, yeah, that's 7, my friends. And you will have 7 lions. So in your deadly pit that contains a total of 63 creatures, right? Killer creatures, I might add. You're going to have 7 lions, 35 vampire bats, and 21 poisonous snakes. Bam! There you have it, my friends. Hey, that's all there is to solve problems like this. And right now, what you should do is go ahead and pause the video and then copy all these notes into your notebook so you're ready for future problems like this, my friend. Until next time, I hope you have a fantastic day. I'll see you soon.